Okay, so we have a target deadline. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer, everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Okay, so we finally have an update, I guess, in when we are supposed to be getting the remaining time frame for the 1112 King Road camera. If you are not sure which time frame we're talking about, it's technically the most important time frame besides whatever the time frame of the crime is according to the state. It's the 12:55 a.m. to 2:25 a.m. time frame. This should show Dylan, Lakeland, Bethany getting home, Eric Gower pulling in his Prius, and Kaylee and Maddie getting out of the vehicle. I need to reword this so that people understand what should be happening here, because the Goncalveses have come out since the very beginning and told us that they saw Maddie and Kaylee getting out of the vehicle, walking into 1122 King Road, and then taking Murphy outside to go to the restroom. Now, during the Linda Lane leak, if you've been here for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In order to say that there was a problem with the audio, Steve Goncalves actually sent a screenshot from the 1112 King Road footage to a TikToker named Brett Norton and stated that because they had footage closer to the actual crime scene, that he knew that there were some noises in Linda Lane that were not accurate, that didn't match up. That was what the intention was for him showing this timestamp on this screenshot. There's videos about all that stuff. Please just scroll back. It's all there. We've covered it extensively. The problem is that it showed that they were not being honest. It showed that they did not actually have eyes on the house. They did not actually have eyes on where the girls would have been getting out of the vehicle. They would not have seen them walk in. They would not have seen them actually take Murphy out. What they would have done is heard things. Now, is it possible that we're going to see the girls maybe walking down the road with Murphy? Very possible. But we do know now from interviews that it was not Kaylee and Maddie, that it was Bethany and Maddie. So also given the fact that the Goncalveses also did not tell us about a 17-minute phone call that Jack had with Kaylee that night, one can only assume that the reason why Maddie and Bethany took Murphy outside is because Kaylee was on the phone with Jack. That's where we're at right now. And all of these things have not been being told to us honestly by the Goncalves family. So in editing, I realized the way that I said that, and I wanted to make it very, very clear. What we should see is Eric Gower's vehicle pulling in to drop the girls off, and then we should see him then leave. We will not see them get out the vehicle. We should hear doors closing. We should hear maybe even talking because we know they were a little bit drunk. We don't also know how long he sat there and spoke to them. For all we know, he gave them airplane bottles, the way that we know that he's notorious for. And remember, when we received photos from the crime scene, there's a little airplane bottle, like at least one of them, on the steps. And there were a few others that we saw sort of around the house. So there's a lot of questions for that, especially since in one of the reports, Eric Gower, again, the driver, says something about how he pulled over for like 15-ish minutes to clean out the back of his seat. So there's a lot that we should see, but there's a lot of things that we will not see that we've been told other people have seen that this footage is going to further prove those people have not been honest. Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about. It should hopefully show something when it comes to Ethan and Xana coming home, because there's literally no time for them actually getting back to the house that night, literally at all. Given the fact that there is so much discrepancy when it comes to the DoorDash, not just the order itself, where it originally actually came from, which was not anything to do with Xana, but actually from Ethan's DoorDash account, to all of the crazy insanity, technically. Let's just be so serious about just how high level the ridiculousness is here when it comes to Molly, the DoorDash driver. The double dashing, the fact that Jack in the Box wasn't sure if she was coming back, so the order got tossed in the trash. When she showed up, they had to remake it. Therefore, we have no timestamp for when the order was actually placed. They have not told us the truth about anything when it comes to Xana and Ethan. And let's also not forget that we've been told forever that the timestamp for Xana last being on TikTok was 4:12 in the morning. Trial records got submitted with authentication, however you freaking say that word. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The certificates from the companies that prove, yes, this is our valid information. Well, when the one for TikTok came in, it didn't say 412, it said 316. So that's not a time zone issue. The minutes are even different. This time frame, we should either be hearing these things happening or hopefully, fingers freaking crossed, seeing these things happening. And we've been questioning what exactly we're going to see because we've been told from the beginning that the Goncalveses saw footage of the girls being dropped off. But when I asked specifically about a camera that seemed to have been mentioned by Brett Payne in his report regarding Molly, the DoorDash driver, I was told that I was mistaken and I must be talking about 1112. And then, we just went on with the FOIAs and now here we are. Still waiting for this footage because it was missing when it was originally submitted to me. And no matter how many times I've tried to get information about how long it's going to take, it just seems like they just kept not really giving a crap at the mistake. There was a lot of excuses, a lot of, hey, we have city things to take care of, and oh, you're at the top of the list, we're going to get to it really soon, and oh, don't worry about it, you're right there, it's not going to take very long, it's only, an hour and a half of footage, shouldn't take long at all. Well, at this point, it's been about 2 business weeks, because they've known since December the 5th the pieces that were missing, and then we were told, here you go, here's the 10 a.m. to the 11 a.m., but it has so many long portions of muted silence that I'm really questioning what's going to end up actually being withheld from this time frame. This one apparently hadn't even been started. And if you guys have been following along from the beginning, you know that originally they didn't even know where it was. It took several phone calls, but finally on November 4th of 2025, Tim Smaldridge and the FOIA officer that I have been speaking with this entire time found the actual complete 1112 time frame footage in a subfolder. Not with the rest of it, but in a subfolder. So they had to pull it and put it in there, and now they have everything in way of what the report states when it comes to what's actually on in their storage that they saved from the 1112 King Road camera. And it should be 12:55 a.m. on 11/13/2022, all the way into the evening of 11/17/2022, and one additional day in December that actually does have a correlating police report from Moscow PD. Now, I called over there twice trying to get some information because I called on Monday and it went straight to voicemail. And then I sent an email and never got a response after being told on Friday that our information and everything that needed to be done was at the top of the list. Again, at the top of the list. I'm not completely ridiculous, and there's just been so many things that have just piled on to this situation that finally reaching out to somebody else was a must. I didn't have a choice. Now, it turns out there was a storm and there was no power, so they weren't in the office when I made these phone calls, which I don't really know if that's entirely true. And if you want to listen to those phone calls, I'll have links for them down in the description box because I did record them in case somebody did answer the phone, but nobody did. And it's really odd to me, the last one I called, because it was her voice on the recording machine until the 3rd time. And then it was a machine, so it's like it was forwarded somewhere else. It just seemed very much like she could live hear me speaking and decided just to not answer it. A lot of people in the comments were also under that impression. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I just know that there's been a lot of bullshit, okay? There's been a lot of bullshit. So then the second person I called, who's actually the city clerk, calls me back today. I posted about it in my community tab, and it was like a little over 5-minute phone call. And what she basically tried to do is just use the excuse that they're a very small town, and that's the reason why these things are taking so long. No, I'm not going to allow you that excuse because I was born and raised in a small town, a college money-based town, just like Moscow. So I'm very aware of the bullshit, okay? Also, you told me we were at the top of the list. Now this woman is telling me, no. We had other things that we had to fulfill first. Now you're at the top of the list. So then that just leads us to believe what? That we were lied to by the FOIA officer? Because we were told that we were at the top of the list, and the reason why they hadn't gotten to ours yet is because there were city things they had to handle. So because it's the end of the year and all the tax things and all of the reports have to be ran, that's what I thought she meant by that. On top of that, we were told what? That certain people that were necessary for this to be done were not going to be in office until the following Tuesday. So we were going to have to wait for stuff anyway. Do you guys see? Most of you guys have lived this with me. This is how it's been the entire time. So I really kind of believed she heard my voicemails and she just waited until she had some more information for something that she could really give me. I don't know, because she tried to make all these excuses, but at the end of the day, I told her exactly everything that I'm telling you right now. My son was in the room listening to the entire conversation. I said, it's not just this. I said everything about the folders, the disorganization, the multiple parts of the freaking FOIA request missing, all of the things. She got the ear full. This is not just one thing. This is a disorganized mess, and I said that as well. This is because y'all are highly disorganized, and here we are with all of these issues. This is not just a one-issue situation. That office is all over the place. Plain and simple. It's all over the place. The fact that there's multiple folders, that all the things were not being put together in the same folder, and I had to call multiple times. We had to ask them about it and try to figure out what's going on because they really just don't have a clue. I don't want to hear small town. If this is how disorganized you are when it comes to just putting the same like files in the same folder and making sure that your FOIA requests actually get done completely, then how are your other protocols handled? How is everything else in that town handled? It's completely unprofessional, which is another thing I said. But at the end of the phone call, she basically said that now we're at the top of the list and that the target that she can give me, that she's been told, is that by Monday, December 22nd, end of day Moscow time, we should have the file, which would be 5 p.m. in Moscow and 7 p.m. Central Texas time. So as soon as we have the files, I'll get everything together and we'll go live. Now, I don't know if it's going to be in the same 5-minute segments or if it's going to be in the longer segments. It's been a mixed bag. I know that right now the 2:25 to the 3:35 and then the 4 to 4:45 were 5-minute segments that I had to put together, but from the 4:45 to 6 all the way forward were like the actual hour segments. But that's it. That's the update. So hopefully on Monday we can go live and finally have some answers. That would be beautiful. It'll be a late night, very long live because it's an hour-and-a-half footage and we're going to do like we have been doing this entire time. It'll be a live review. I'll be watching it for the first time with you guys live. We will be stopping, talking, commentating, going back, all the things. And then the very next morning, it will drop raw, no commentary. And in the description box of the raw posting will be a link to a Google Drive where you can get your own copy of the file to do whatever you freaking need to do with it. And regardless of how things have been going on, I'm not going to watermark these videos. I'm not going to change the way that I want to do things because other people are dishonest and lack ethics and morals. I know a lot of you are very protective of this information and I freaking adore the shit out of you guys for that, but I can't change the way that I want things to be. I despise the watermarks. Things that are changed are not evidence. I've already had to deal with that myself. Anything that I ever had to submit that I wanted to like highlight and make sure that they saw exactly what I was talking about, be it an arrow or a circle or a highlight, they kept it. But in order for anything to have been admitted as evidence, I had to retake the information and not highlight anything, not point anything out. So when it comes to watermarks and things like that, I want you guys to know that I am not touching these damn things. I'm putting them together. I am downloading them in 4K after bringing the audio from 100 to 200 just so that we can actually hear it because I do that with all of my videos. When I record on this camera, once it goes into my editor, I bring the volume up to 200 just to make sure that you guys can hear me. Nothing changes. And then it's completely uploaded. I don't want to put anything on it. It is what it is. If people are not going to be honest, that's on them and that's out of my control. I know who I is. So we're just going to leave it at that. But let me know what you guys are thinking about all of this so far down in the comments. And don't forget that I do have some merch over on the Etsy shop. I never even talk about this stuff. I really never talk about this stuff. But I made some really cool designs today. and I really like them, and I'm really excited about this one in particular. And then my 7-year-old saw this one, so now I'm going to get us both one, and I just honestly can't wait because I love these bright, bright, bright colors, but I also love the black with the bright. I mean, obviously, you guys can see what I'm digging here, right? So I'm just like letting you guys know that it's there because it's really freaking cool, and I love the freaking designs, and I'm proud of these because I make these myself. I post everything myself. I do everything, obviously, all the time by myself. We don't even have moderators on this channel. I handle everything myself. There's no one in chat kicking anyone out. If you get punished, you're getting punished by me, in case you didn't know. But again, that's the updates on everything. I have to go finally put my Christmas tree up. We have done literally nothing yet, and it's about freaking time when we get things done. Has anyone else been just like not really in the mood this year? I'm noticing a lot of people talking about it over on Twitter, and normally our stuff is up since like Halloween, before Halloween. Honestly, October 1st to New Year's is normally when our stuff is up because it's Nightmare Before Christmas theme. And it's just like not really been, I just haven't really been into it. I don't know why. Anyone else? Let me know. Let me know down in the comments. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that that notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives. See y'all.